Yeah, if you want.
Or
Do you think it's okay?
it's up to you where you want to film.
I'm cool. Yeah, we can. Here, I'll make some room. You can sit here. Yeah, we're live right now, guys. All right. I guess. I mean.
I'm gonna text my girlfriend saying we're live just in case she wants to tune in.
Yeah. I'll order up here is better. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah. If All right. Hey, we got 2 people in here. Awesome. Cool. Yeah, that'll work just fine. All right. So we're all here. 2 people here. I don't know who's here. Yeah. I finally got it set up right, Oscar. This was a bitch. Like, my phone was locked in a certain mode where I couldn't put it in landscape. Eric, the fucking tech whiz over here, he figured it out for me and we got it going. Hey, what's up, Joshi? One of my favorite subscribers.
Joshi,
Always loyal.
How can he type? Is it supposed to be the Mario, the mushroom chicken?
All right, so you guys hang tight for a second. I'm gonna go share the stream link on my Facebook really quick, and I'll be right back. So you guys, if y'all want to say anything about your list really quick, like any precursors, y'all can go ahead and do that.
Well, wait, no. I was gonna be like, can we tell our best of 2019? But then I realized there might be spoilers for the list.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was.
Oh
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. We won't do it.
Okay. Well, if y'all want to give any precursors on your list or say anything, y'all go ahead.
I'd like to say I'm going to be the most objective out of all 3 of us in terms of my top 15. I will say my honorable mentions are more subjective than objective. But yeah, I tried to be as objective as possible when I made this list. There are going to be a few surprises in there. People are going to be like, well, I didn't expect that to be in a top 15 best of the decade, or I don't think that is that great as you think it is, but you just got to remember these are our personal lists. This is just our opinion. We're not the film lords or anything.
We're the film gods.
Yes, we are.
Yeah,
we are the
that's what
film
we
gods.
are.
We're not the film lords. We're the film gods.
We're gonna replace Ebert and fucking what's his dude? What's his name?
Siskel.
Siskel.
Yeah.
Oops. Fuck. I fuck things up, guys. It's my superpower. Carlos will have to come back here and fix it. Did I get it? There.
Sorry about that.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, we're just going to give it a few minutes so he can share the link on Facebook, to just get more people in the lobby before we start on our giving our list and our thoughts.
How did we do it when we did the Oscars? Did we do it like this?
Yeah, we did. We did do it like this. Although we were set up in a different part of the room. This is a weird spot to have.
Yeah, I'm not good at improvising, so.
Oscar says, my number 1 is Avengers Endgame. I don't know if that's sarcasm.
Hell yeah.
Or if that's legitimate.
My number 1, Cats.
Joshi said, my number 1 of the decade is Moonlight and Under the Skin. Very good taste.
Very respectable.
Yes, very respectable taste right there.
I do not see any issues with that personally.
Hello, Selena.
Selena Gomez is watching our stream.
No, my
I
niece
love
Selena.
you in Wizards of Waverly Place.
No, my niece Selena's
Oh.
like, hi, Perry.
Oh.
I have to give her a shout out.
There's Jen laughing.
Yeah. No joke, the notebook that I wrote my top 15 best of the decade on is actually the same notebook I threw across the room in the Oscar live stream when Green Book won Best Picture. This is the same exact notebook.
God, that's like the worst Best Picture fucking winner since Crash.
I'm serious. Endgame was definitely the best for me.
Oh yeah. 3 hours of fucking of running. I don't even know. 3 hours of fucking fan service. Yeah, I guess that's best of the year.
Another precursor is I'm not really big into action movies or Marvel films, so that's just going to be another precursor. If you don't see any Marvel films on my list, like, don't be surprised. Or, for that matter, don't be surprised if you see any Marvel film on any of our list.
Oh, I'm fucking spoiling it right now. Fucking Ant-Man and the Wasp. That's my number. Ant-Man and the Wasp. That's my number one.
Oh my God, really? That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
I knew it.
I
knew
knew
you
it,
loved
yeah.
that movie. Who couldn't love Paul Rudd? And, he's just so annoying. Like, who could not love Paul Rudd?
Yeah, I loved that when I watched it in an IMAX theater, I wanted to fall asleep. That was my favorite part of the movie.
Alright, so we got 4 people in the chat so far. 3 people in the chat.
You know what we should do? We should talk about our favorites from last year. Maybe. Last year as in 2018.
Oh, yeah.
Or do you not want to? Okay, never mind. Bad idea.
We still only have 3 people in the live stream.
That's fine. I saw Oscar was in there and somebody named Selena was in there.
That's my niece.
Oh, yeah. It's like the Gomez in the chat. Is that what y'all said?
That's what I
Eric said that.
Okay. Oscar is dead serious though, guys. Like Oscar, actually, he thinks that the
really?
Avengers Endgame is the best. But Oscar, he's the dude that comes in the store actually all the time.
Really?
Yeah, he comes in with his mom and his little sister and his brother.
I think I know who you're talking about.
He's tall, kind of skinny.
I think I know exactly who you're talking about.
He's really cool. I obviously don't agree at all that the Avengers is the best of the decade.
Oh, I agree with him.
I really do not like that. Well, it's not horrible. It's just I don't know. It's not for me, I guess.
If you didn't see, I yeeted the camera. It got knocked down.
Oh, I heard it from over there. Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate the support there on that, dude.
That's awesome.
That's why you're one of my favorite subs. Always supporting, always there, always saying great things that make me feel warm and fuzzy inside. Hey, thanks, man. I hope it is too. I got some big things planned for 2020, so let's hope it's great.
It's gonna be a shit year for movies.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
mean to be a Debbie Downer, but it's gonna be a shit year for movies.
Let's hope that Dune is so awesome that it doesn't even matter.
Yeah. Can't forget about Last Night in Soho or French Dispatch either.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to those.
Joshi just said it's like 2:46 a.m. where he's at, but he's still
wow.
here.
That's awesome. I'm
So fucking
glad.
loyal, man.
Yeah,
I
that's
love you so
cool.
much. Did y'all get precursors on your list yet?
Yeah, I told him not to expect any action films or Marvel
Okay.
films.
And I'm probably going to be the least objective, probably, but I still try to throw in objectivity.
Okay.
They would be 2 massively different lists if it was purely subjective.
I told him my honorable mentions aren't going to be objective. It's just subjective with the honorable mentions, but the actual top 15 is going to be objective.
Yeah, I'm going to throw in a lot of honorable mentions.
By the way,
I won't talk about it,
I just realized, guys, I'm streaming from my phone, so I can't look at my list.
but do you want me to pull up your list somewhere?
It's on lock.
Shit.
So unless I
Unless you text your list to one of us, and then we just... Because I have my list in front of me, so you can just text me your list and read off of my phone.
that's true, but then I can't do that while I'm streaming, can I?
You might have to pause the stream for a little bit.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, unless if you have your list
From
memorized.
2000 to 2010s, yeah. There Will Be Blood it would be my favorite from that decade.
From the 2000s?
Yeah.
I guess mine would have to be Dogville.
Mine would be Mulholland Drive.
Nice.
You know what I'm gonna do, guys? I'm just gonna go to the desktop and
Uh-huh.
I'm just gonna sign into my account there, and I'm just gonna write down on a piece of paper really quick.
Okay.
That's a good idea. You should do that.
All right. So I'll be back, guys. I'm gonna write down. Yeet.
Sorry.
It's okay. The camera's got yeeted again, guys. It's okay. All right, so I'll be back because I gotta go write down my list since I'm streaming from my phone, and my account on my phone has my ranked list on it. So I'll be back. Perry, entertain the subs.
Oh, as always, here to entertain. I mean, honestly, if you can't trust a film critic wearing a Scooby-Doo t-shirt, who can you trust?
If you can't trust a film critic wearing an anime character, who can you trust?
Exactly. Who can you trust?
I wonder if Carlos has any weebs in his fucking sub base.
What have we been up to today? Today, I just watched movies on Netflix. I just watched the Stanford Prison Experiment. If you haven't checked it out, it's a pretty solid movie.
I woke up at 6 p.m. That's what I've been doing today.
Oh yeah, you are a late sleeper.
I'm a night owl.
No joke, guys. Some reviews Eric has missed out on because he overslept. I am not kidding.
Well, mixture of that and wanting to spend time with someone.
Oh, hey, hello, Katrina. Thank you for joining this live stream.
You have a sister named Katrina?
Yeah, my sister. I have 4 sisters. Melina, Katrina, Sabrina, Christina. All their names rhyme. And I have a niece named Selena.
What happened with you? Why Perry?
Oh, it's
Perina. I'm sorry if that was like if somebody said that to you derogatory. I didn't mean it.
Yeah. My brother's name doesn't rhyme with mine. My brother's name is Marcus. So our names don't rhyme. My brother his name should technically be Gary and I should be Perry.
Yesterday I learned about Rebel Wilson's siblings naming scheme. She has like sisters and brothers named like Liberty and fucking like some shit, like it's weird.
Joshi wants to know if we play games.
I play games. I don't play them. I mean, I don't play games like all the time, but I love them still.
He said, if so, which games stuck out to you this decade?
This decade, Nier Automata, Danganronpa V3, especially, and Persona 5. What else? There's a shitload of games that came out this decade, but...
Oh, Gamers Rise Up?
Yeah.
Gamers Rise Up? I'm wearing the Gamers Rise Up t-shirt.
Yeah, you are.
You're wearing the We Live in a Society t-shirt.
Society Gamers Rise Up.
No, Katrina, nobody plays Call of Duty unless you're
Smash?
12 years
Yeah, I love
old.
Smash. I
Smash
played
is
the shit out
awesome.
of that.
Yeah. All right, so I got my list now. So who wants to go first? If you want, I'll just go last.
Really?
Oh, well, didn't you want to do honorable mentions first?
Okay, we'll do that. I guess I'll do my honorable mentions first. So, all right. By the way, just a precursor for my list. I am doing my best to be objective and subjective at the same time. Like, I'm trying to have a good mix of both.
Same here.
Even though I think I'm leaning more to the subjective side here, because I was trying to include the factor of like cultural relevance and it being like I guess iconic, and just seeing how long it's been revered, and to see how like important it is to like, you know, pop culture and stuff like that. But I started to slowly kind of drop that factor. I mean, it's still a factor somewhat in my list, but I was holding it too important in my list. And it started bugging me way too much. So I started just kind of going on what I just personally think is just, like, if I'm going from a filmmaking standpoint, what do I think is the better film, you know, from an artful standpoint? You know, what do I think is higher quality in the arts? And that's just kind of what I came to. And I think that was just a better approach. And I felt more comfortable doing that, because then I started running into problems of films that I really don't even love that much being on my list, and that was really bothering me.
Yeah, I feel that.
So, okay, that being said, honorable mentions, I got a lot of them here. I probably have some missing, but whatever, I'll just go with it. So, this is not the list, all right? This is just, these are just movies that I wanted to make the list, but couldn't, because they were just other great films. So, The Wolf of Wall Street did not make the list, even though I absolutely love that film. The Neon Demon did not make the list, even though I was quite obsessed with that film for a long time when it came out. The Babadook didn't make the list, which was hard because I genuinely love that film to death. 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri also did not make the list,
Nice.
which sucked. You know, it really sucked not having all of these on the list because I really do love these films a lot. The House That Jack Built, directed by Lars von Trier, was
Ooh.
not on the list either. The Witch, that's a huge one. That did not make the list. The Lobster, unfortunately, that was really close. The Hunt, unfortunately, did not make the list as well. Parasite, big one. Parasite did not make the list.
Wah, wah.
The Master did not make the list. I mean, it hurts to say that.
Yeah.
Whiplash also did not make the list. Inception was on the list at one point, but it's not on there anymore. I had to take it out for something else. What else do we got here? I got more. Hold on.
What about Click? Yeah, that's making my list.
Grown Ups 2 did not make the list. Sorry.
Did Jack and Jill make the list?
That is on the list actually.
Oh,
that's
nice.
on there.
Nice.
That's actually top 5.
Dunk
Click.
Chino forever.
Click is just a sequel to Funny Games.
Mother also did not make the list. Blade Runner 2049 didn't make the list. That was on the list at one point. It's not on there anymore. The Lighthouse did not make the list. That was a really tough one. Django Unchained did not make the list. That was on there at one point. It's not on there anymore. And Mad Max Fury Road is not on the list. That one was heartbreaking to leave out. That was basically on the list up until like last week.
Damn.
But I had to kick it out for a film that I just personally love and think is kind of more artful. So yeah, those are my movies that did not make the cut but wanted. Anybody else want to go next now?
You want to go, Perry, or should I go?
You can go.
Okay, so I have much fewer than that, but I still have a lot. First, I'll start off with Black Swan. Black Swan did not make my list. It was very, very, very close. These aren't in order. They're not like what came closer to what didn't. This is just like random. The Hunt didn't make my list. I really love that film. The Grand Budapest Hotel didn't make it.
Ooh.
Mommy didn't make it. Has Carlos seen it?
I haven't seen Mommy.
Perry has seen it, and I know he really loves it.
Oh, you gotta watch Mommy, Carlos.
I'll watch it.
The Favorite / The Lobster, those two did not make my list. And I'm a huge fan of Yorgos Lanthimos.
Yeah, me too. I love that guy.
Silence didn't make my list. It's an incredible film,
Oh man,
but still.
that one
Her
burns.
didn't make my list.
Oh, Her didn't make your list.
Yeah, I know.
Didn't make my list either. Actually, that should have been a mention. But
Honorable mention: Burning by Lee Chang Dong. That didn't make my list, but I adore that film and I think it's fantastic.
Alfredo said, "I got your mommy right here."
Good one.
Oscar said, "What about Pixels?"
He said, "What about Pixel?" That's way different.
Pixels is fucking top tier.
Uncut Gems / Good Time did not make my
Oh,
list.
yeah. See. Oh man. Yeah.
Nymphomaniac, I thought deserved an honorable mention. That didn't make my list. Incredible film, in my opinion. The House That Jack Built didn't make my list, and I love it. And lastly, The Florida Project.
Wow.
That's the end of my honorable mentions.
I didn't mention that either, but that was also a film that was definitely in contention at some point.
I love The Florida Project.
It's a great film.
God
Alright.
damn. Y'all took all my honorable mentions.
Really? What
Not
are yours?
all of them, but like y'all listed off a lot of the
Florida
honorable
Man.
mention-
Florida Man.
For my honorable mentions, I'm not gonna give that many, mainly because they said a lot that I would have as an honorable mention. House That Jack Built is definitely an honorable mention for me. Grand Budapest Hotel, which was on my top 15, but I revised my list 5 times, and it is no longer on my top 15. It is an honorable mention. Hereditary, I gotta throw Hereditary out because it's such a game-changing horror film. The Witch, one of my favorite horror films of all time. Drive, one of the greatest action films ever made. I don't care what anyone says, even though it's so much more than an action film.
It's hard to believe it's not on your list.
No Refn made
Yeah,
anything.
and that's one of my favorite movies of all time. It is my 10th favorite film of all time.
That's
but
because
it's-
you're going with objective,
Right,
Like
exactly.
purely objective, basically.
Purely objective. Nymphomaniac's another one
Nice.
that didn't make mine. Yeah, y'all listed off a lot of my honorable mentions, so I'm not going to give too many. I
I'm
think
glad-
that's it.
That's about it.
I'm glad you include Nymphomaniac. I think that is a representation.
Yep,
All
even
right.
though YMS hates it, I will defend that movie to the grave.
Same. Kaiser?
Kaiser is
Same
saying
Perry.
Perry. He's watching this and pointing at the screen.
Okay.
Okay, man.
Oh, Kaiser
Rock on.
is my nephew.
Oh, okay.
Katrina's my sister, and Kaiser is my nephew.
That's a
Oh.
badass name.
He was named after Kaiser Soze
Kaiser
from The
Permanente.
Usual Suspects.
I think a Kaiser Scotty from Deep Bad Fried.
I think of Kaiser Soze.
That's who he was named after.
Really?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
A character played by Kevin Spacey.
In The Usual Suspects.
Womp womp.
Can't mention him now. All right, Eric, you want to go first, man?
You all want me to start it off?
Yeah, I'll let Eric start it off, man.
Wow. Okay, so I think I'm probably going to be alone in this one. My number 15 of the decade is Certified Copy.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
Directed by Abbas something. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, some foreign dude. But it stars Julia Binoche and another dude who's fantastic in the film. It's a very talkative movie. It's basically just a conversation. Well, don't get me wrong, there's just great filmmaking in it, but like it's focused on just character performances and the script. And it's very intelligent. It's a very intelligent film that just focuses on like bits of philosophy, like bits of like romance, and I think everybody should just watch it. Honestly, it's fantastic and it subverts your expectations in a really clever way, I would say.
By the way, everybody who's in this room, please give this video a thumbs up. I see there's 7 people in here. We only got 3 likes. Wah, wah. Give it a little bit more.
No, Certified Copy is my number 15 of the decade.
Okay.
I think he mistaken it for number 1 or something.
No, this is number 15, all right?
Yeah.
Number 15, Certified Copy. And by the way, guys, do you think, like, now I'm starting to think maybe we should just do, like, 15, 15, 15, 14,
That's-
14,
yeah, that's
14.
what
what we
me and
were
Eric
doing.
were suggesting.
Oh, okay, let's just do that then.
Yeah,
That sounds funner.
Yeah, that's what I
Um,
wanted to do.
It'd be more fun.
Yeah, more fun, whatever.
But I mean, I don't really have
Grammar
too much.
Nazi. Just kidding.
But yeah, I don't really have too much to say other than that. It's just a movie I think everybody who's a film lover should give a chance. It's not very flashy, so it might go under people's radar because of that. But it's I think it's definitely everybody should give a shot.
I've heard about this film for so long from you and other people who are like, film lovers and shit. I still haven't seen it yet.
I've seen it. I just watched it recently, so I
Oh.
can actually testify it to it. And I was going to mention that as one of my honorable mentions, but
Ah.
I forgot.
And it's cool because it's a movie that speaks multiple languages. It goes from like English, I think Italian for sure,
Yeah,
French,
Italian.
and is German in there? I don't
Yeah.
think so.
I
But
don't think German's in there.
okay, but still, those 3 languages and both characters speaking like those 3 languages like so well. It's great,
Yeah.
and it's not for like marketing or anything. It serves well in the film.
Right.
Yeah, there's a purpose to it.
All right.
Yep.
Okay.
Certified copy.
Certified Copy. That's Eric's number 15, guys. So let's go with Perry. I'll just go last. So it'll be like Eric, Perry, me, Eric, Perry, me. We'll just do it that way.
Well, I can tell you right now, Gary Stevenson, the Emoji Movie is not my number 15.
Yeah, it's my number 2.
My number 15 is Gaspar Noé's Climax.
Oh, awesome.
So this is a
That's
newcomer
awesome, man.
to the list. I know Carlos loves this movie more than I do, but don't get me wrong. I absolutely thought this film was brilliant from start to finish. Has some of the best camera work I've ever seen. I think Gaspar Noé truly outdid himself with Climax. I think this is his magnum opus. That this is his masterpiece. Like, I don't see how much better. I don't see him getting better from Climax. I don't see how he's gonna top himself.
Yeah, that's like the fucking pinnacle Noah there. Like,
Yeah.
and it's sad because honestly, this should have at least got awards for aesthetics, like directing and camera work and sound and score and all that. Like it should have
Absolutely.
easily got that.
Yeah.
But of course, it's Gaspar Noé. No one's gonna
Too
give him-
controversial.
Yeah.
He made it reversible, so that automatically bans
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
People are saying it's too style over substance. I disagree.
No, it's
I
not.
think
Fuck that.
I think it's actually a very thematically rich film. I think it has in terms of like themes, I think it is not just like his best film on a technical level, but in terms of themes, I think it has the most to offer out of all of his films.
Yeah, I
I
obviously agree with that.
I kind of agree with that because I'm a big dick sucker of Enter the Void, but
Yes.
Into the
and
Void is also
Irreversible.
that's a film that's pretty astonishing, but it's like
I think
don't
that
know.
film's incredible.
I saw it once. I kind of never want to watch it again.
Oh, I've seen it twice, and I'm excited to watch it again.
Didn't you just feel so filthy after watching
Yes.
Enter
Yeah.
the Void?
Yes, I did.
I
loved
felt
it.
like I needed to take 10 showers.
Me too. That's part of what I loved about it.
All right, so I guess I'll get my number 15 now.
Yep.
So my number 15 is Joker.
Oh,
Joker is my number
shit.
15. I know that's going to be really divisive and probably upset some people because I know there's some people that really hate Joker and think it's massively overrated. But it's number 15 on my list. All right, it's the very first, it's the lowest pick on the list. Is someone here? What do you mean? What? There's a car here? They're not knocking at the door or anything, are they?
It doesn't matter. We're closed.
Okay.
Somebody
Well,
heard you put Joker on the list, and now they're coming.
They're
again.
coming for you.
Okay, well, can you keep an eye on that? All right. I think they're leaving now. Yeah, they're leaving.
Sorry, it's my fault. I'm walking around.
No, I mean, thanks for alerting me because you don't know. Somebody might try some weird shit. No, thank you. So yeah, Joker number 15. Yeah, some people think it's overrated, but I'm sorry. I think that film is absolutely incredible. Some people think that, Todd Phillips is the worst thing about the film. I highly disagree. I think that he did a great job directing that film. I think a lot of what made that film special is how he made it. Sure, Joaquin Phoenix's performance is a huge part of why that film works so well, but there are certain moments in the film that I think were just completely elevated by Todd Phillips' direction. The score is great in the film, too. I'm happy to see the score win some awards. Of course, Phoenix is absolutely stunning in the film. And I just think it's a film that's going to be remembered forever. Like, it's certainly going to be it's going to be an iconic film. And, yeah, I think it's a film that will definitely withstand the test of time, and people are going to always think about this film, forever. So, yeah, that's why it's number 15 on my list, and I hope it wins some awards at the Oscars. I know some people are butthurt that it got over like 11 nominations. I think it got 11 nominations at the Oscars. I'll admit maybe one too many, but I'm not really upset about that. There's other films that got nominated that I'm much more upset about than Joker. But okay, that's my number 15, guys. I guess it's Eric's turn.
All right, I guess I'll name off my number 14. This is a film that I don't think is going to be represented again in this video, but Nocturnal Animals is my number 14.
Oh, good pick, dude.
It's a fantastic film that I actually wasn't too keen on when I first saw it. I thought it was... I don't know what I thought. I was just like, I didn't really enjoy that very much, but now I think it's like a near masterpiece. If people want to talk about one of the largest, like, one of the most scariest anxiety attacks in film, like, this is one of them. I think, like, this movie fucking freaked me out.
It's a gritty film.
It's very gritty, and I love the meta aspect of it. There's all, like, it kind of commentates on, like, how, how fiction, is kind of like what the effects fiction has, like, on reality in a sense, and, like, has a lot to say about, like, writers and Amy Adams' performance in it. Everybody's performance in it is fucking fantastic. And the film looks stunning. It's a really interesting film that's directed by a fucking fashion designer or something like that. Tom Ford.
He's a fashion designer.
And it's only his second movie that he's ever made, but it's like quite an achievement. And I really hope that people, generations coming up will talk about it and study the film, because I think there's quite a lot to dig in there. And plus, Amy Adams is like one of my favorite actresses, and so is Jake Gyllenhaal, honestly.
He's great in the film, too.
So, Nocturnal Animals. I love it.
Somebody in the chat asked if I think Todd Phillips deserved the nomination for Best Director. Not really, just because I would put, like, the Safdie brothers or Robert Eggers or somebody like that in the mix before I would put Todd Phillips. So in that sense, no, but I'm not that upset about it, just because I think Todd Phillips is great. Like, I would be more upset if it was Greta Gerwig instead of Todd Phillips. That would kind of upset me because, by the way, spoiler alert, I watched Little Women. Not a fan. I did not like that film at all.
None of us did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't like it either. I watched it after they did. They watched it like way before I did. I watched it the other day with Jen, and we both did not like this movie. It's not like the worst thing in the world or anything, but it's just, I don't know, it's a bit...
Painstakingly average.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah. A huge step down from Lady Bird, in my opinion, which I thought was an excellent film.
Yeah. It's... I don't know. I mean, some people really, really like that film a lot, but I just had a lot of issues with it. I just didn't find it very engaging for a lot of different reasons, but... yeah, anyways, yeah, that's what I got to say on that. You want to go ahead, Perry? We're number 14.
My number 14 is one of your honorable mentions. It's Paul Thomas Anderson's The Master.
The Master.
Wow.
Don't get me wrong, I do think the third act of the film is the weakest act. With that being said, I think that this film is a near masterpiece, and I do think The Master has Joaquin Phoenix's best performance, hands down.
I can probably agree with that. Right now, I'm not sure between Joker
I
and
agree
that,
with that.
but what he does in The Master is like, it's like next level shit what he does in that film.
And we can't overlook Philip Seymour Hoffman. Like, Philip Seymour
yeah.
Hoffman was absolutely brilliant.
One of my favorite actors, for
Amy
sure.
Adams was great, too. Like, and the film is one of the most gorgeous films I have ever seen. Like, it is so beautifully shot. The cinematography is amazing. Because I think it was actually shot in 70 millimeter, and you can actually tell when you watch the film.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree with all your praises.
Yeah, and of course, a lot of people dismiss it as, oh, it's just a film about Scientology, and I think that's a very hollow and superficial review of the film.
That's an incredibly simplistic way
Can
to
I
do it.
mention
Yeah.
something?
Yeah,
I got to see a Church of Scientology when I went to Portland. I won't spend too much on it, but that was surreal to actually see a real life huge building of the Church of Scientology. It was crazy.
It's crazy to think that they're still around doing that shit. Like, you think they've been exposed enough to where they're just like dead, but
Nope.
apparently not.
It was filled with books by L. Ron Hubbard, and the test was right there. I saw it in plain sight.
By the way, we got 13 people in the chat. What's up, everybody? How y'all
That's awesome.
doing?
What's up, guys?
Thanks for joining us and watching the shit. If you haven't liked it, please give it a like. Sorry, I'm going to be saying that somewhat throughout this because I need to get these likes up. But yeah, do you have anything more to say on The Master, Perry? We're going to move on. Or
another thing I will say is, like, going back to Joaquin Phoenix, is like, this is one performance where it didn't even feel like he was acting. Like, he just emoted and became the character. It felt so effortless. Like with I thought he was brilliant in The Joker and You Were Never Really Here, but in The Master, it didn't even feel like he was acting. I
Yeah.
never got a sense that he was acting. He just emoted and became the character.
so wait, you said Hoffman? Or
Phoenix.
Yeah, it's kind of harder to see who you're talking about because they both just were like fucking incredible.
Oh
in the
yeah, I
film.
mean,
Both of
same
them.
goes for Hoffman, but
Yeah.
but in terms of like Phoenix is best.
No, I definitely understand why people say that this is Phoenix's best performance ever. He does incredible shit in this film. All right, it's my turn, I guess. Number 14.
Yep.
All right. All right. My number 14 is The Grand Budapest Hotel, directed by Wes Anderson.
Nice.
Yeah, I had to include Wes Anderson somewhere on this list. I know that he's like the hipster favorite nowadays or whatever, but I just can't get enough of this man's style. Like, it's just the symmetry in this film. But like, I think like every single shot in this film is symmetrical, every single frame, and it's just quite astonishing to see someone film an entire film that way. And it's got everything that you would love out of a Wes Anderson film. It's charming, it's wholesome, and a cool thing about it is that it's one of his rated R films, so you get that awesome like mature shit in it. You get some funny violence or whatever in it. You get some really hard hitting scenes that have to do with more like mature content, stuff like that, and that's really nice. And yeah, like, out of all the Wes Anderson films, because I think was there only 2 that came out this decade, like Isle of Dogs and
The Moonrise Kingdom. I think Moonrise Kingdom came.
Moonrise
out.
No,
Kingdom?
Moonrise Kingdom was. No, you're right. Moonrise Kingdom was 2012.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just out of all those, the Grand Budapest just to me was the obvious favorite, and I think it's also his best, like out of the decade as well.
I agree.
Yeah, great film. If you haven't seen it, I highly suggest you watch it. Humor isn't for everyone in Grand Budapest Hotel. Yeah, I can kind of see that, but I mean, there's nothing different about the humor than any other Wes Anderson film.
Yeah.
Like I actually think the humor in the Grand Budapest is probably the most, like it would probably reach more people than humor in almost in his other films maybe.
Like Life Aquatic.
Like Life Aquatic, like that's the humor that's a little bit more like I guess a little bit more subtle, more witty, a little bit more clever. Jokes that don't hit at the moment, but like later on they're like funnier.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that's my number 14. I guess Eric, your turn, man.
All right, man. For 13, my number 13 is a film already brought up. It's Climax, Gaspar Noé.
Nice.
We've all done a review of it together.
Glad to see that.
Since Perry already touched on it briefly, I won't talk too much about it. I think Sofia Boutella gave one of the best performances of 2019. Personally, not the best, but she did a fantastic job, and so did everybody.
Yeah.
The whole cast, the massive cast, I feel like we're all fleshed out and did incredible. One of the best looking movies of the decade, I think. And I personally just really love this film. Like if I made like a top 50 like of all time like favorites, it would be up there because I love this film so much. Yeah, I think Gaspar Noé should keep making fucking controversial, awesome films like this. It's his most accessible, but it's one of his best for sure. I love it. I love Climax so much.
Climax is fantastic.
Hell yeah.
No one's gonna argue about that here. All right, Perry, you go ahead, man.
My number 13, from director Jonathan Glazer, Under the Skin.
Hey, it's funny
Nice.
because someone just typed that. You read that?
Under the Skin
Yeah.
is my number 13.
That's awesome. Yeah, because someone in there said, if you don't mention that film, I'm going to riot.
I mean, we're hardcore film
Yeah.
critics. Of course we're going to mention Under the Skin. I mean, if any person that wanted to become a cinephile, like a hardcore cinephile, this would be a definite recommendation.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this film is absolutely brilliant. And for such an art house film with such limited budget, like, the visual effects are incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, the visual effects are some of the best I've seen this century, especially in the third act. Not going to give it away, but I'm sure everyone that's seen the film knows what I'm talking about. And I think Scarlett Johansson was the perfect casting for the role.
yeah.
And it felt so genuine, the fact that they put like cameras in the van and she would just drive up to random people. It gave me the feeling like I wasn't even watching a movie anymore.
Yeah. That movie is incredibly immersive, and it's visually stunning. It's thematic, it's metaphorical.
It's very empowering towards women as well,
Yeah.
which is nice to see a film that's about female empowerment, but at the same time incredibly subtle.
By the way, I'm pretty ashamed to say that film did not make my list. It was a hardcore mention. It barely didn't make it, but I don't know what to say. I mean, I learned a lot about filmmaking from that film because it's one of the earlier art house films that I watched, and I don't know. It definitely made me see film in a different way, more or less, and I really appreciate it for that. But for some reason, it just didn't make my list. I'm sorry. But it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible film.
All right.
All right, my turn. So my number 13, right? Yeah. My number 13 is Hereditary.
Nice.
Yeah. Obviously directed by Ari Aster, however the hell you want to say it. So yeah, what's to say about Hereditary? I mean, that film, for most people who love it, they will tell you that the reason why they love it is because it just absolutely sticks with you for so long. There are moments in this film that are emotionally traumatizing, and they're just directed in such... It's like the way that it was directed, like Ari Aster knows how to direct trauma in a way that I really haven't seen a filmmaker do in a very long time. Like he directs it in a way that it just feels like he knows what it is, he knows what it feels like, and he just knows how to capture it. And this film just really captured it in a way that really stuck with me. And we can't talk about Hereditary without talking about Toni Collette, who just gave probably the best performance of her career in this film. She was incredible, and it's a travesty that the Academy completely ignored her.
Yeah.
Just like how they completely ignored Adam Sandler this year, but we're not going to talk about that right now. Hereditary is such a fucking great film. By the way, I bought Hereditary today at Target for fucking $5.
Oh,
$5
wow.
Blu-ray.
What a steal.
And I bought Midsommar for $10 on Blu-ray at Target.
shit.
If y'all want good Blu-ray deals, go to Target. Like, I know like most people say stay away from Target because it's too expensive. Apparently, when it comes to movies and Blu-rays, they know what's going on. Like, I bought How to Train Your Dragon 3 for $15. I bought Missing Link for $15. And I bought Midsommar for $10, and then Hereditary for $5. Like, that's incredible. Anyway, off topic, but Hereditary is my number 13. I think it's one of the best horror films of the decade, and that's why it's number 13 on my list.
Awesome. Well, I guess that's me.
Yeah, your turn, Eric.
Another movie that's kind of in the same vein as what Carlos was talking about. My number 12 is The Witch.
Oh, nice.
The Vivitch.
The Vivitch.
Oh man, talk about a one that's near and dear in my heart. This film is, what can be said? Like, I love atmospheric films, and this film exceeds so much in atmosphere. All the performances are so authentic. It's such a beautiful film, even though the film looks just so dour and depressing, with like a black, gray, and white color palette. It's not scary, like in the traditional sense of what you think with horror movies, but it's still really creepy, and you really feel the sense of like danger and despair that all of the characters feel. What's it called? What's her name?
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Anya Taylor-Joy. She's fantastic in the film. Her performance in that really started making me like love her and paying attention to her as an actress and what she does. And obviously it made me super interested to see what Robert Eggers was going to do next. And we'll get there when we get there. He's an amazing director, and The Witch is, I think, one of a kind. It takes inspirations, of course, but it's fantastic. I fucking adore The Witch personally, and I think it's genuinely a great, fantastic film.
Eric went to go see The Witch in theaters, and literally it was a packed theater, and Eric was the only one in that theater that actually enjoyed it.
Everybody around me hated it. They were just scoffing. They were like, and like after the film, like everybody was just in immense disappointment. I was like, that was fucking amazing.
And the fact that all the production design in the film is made from materials that would be used in the time period that the film is set. Like, the attention to detail in The Witch is just insane.
And the dialogue delivery.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Robert Eggers knows how to do that shit, too, because, like, with The Lighthouse, it's another, like, the dialogue delivery is so
Very
incredible.
Shakespearean.
So incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Speaking of that, I also bought The Lighthouse today on Blu-ray.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm stoked.
Yeah.
Man. All right, Perry. I'm going to take a bathroom break. If you want, Perry, you can go ahead while I go to the bathroom.
You need to get up?
What's that?
I said, you need me to get up?
No, you're good.
Okay.
Alrighty, so while he's in the bathroom, I'm going to go ahead and give my number 12. My number 12 is Denis Villeneuve's Blade Runner 2049.
Cool. Awesome.
A lot of people complain that this film is too long. A lot of people say this film is boring. I completely disagree. This is one of those rare sequels that is just as good, if not better, than the original Blade Runner. Or should I say Blade Runner Final Cut. I mean, all of the themes that you got from the original Blade Runner were really fleshed out even more in Blade Runner 2049. And I consider this to be the most gorgeous film I have ever seen in my life.
Of all time?
Of all time.
Damn.
Roger Deakins' cinematography, Roger Deakins, I'm just going to say it, greatest cinematographer of all time. And I feel like Blade Runner 2049, in terms of cinematography, is his magnum opus.
Yeah.
And I feel like Denis Villeneuve is a filmmaker I respect the hell out of, and I feel like Blade Runner 2049 is his best film so far. I mean, and it makes me really excited to see what he does with Dune. And Ryan Gosling just gave such a very understated, believable, subdued performance. I mean, he was perfect casting to play a replicant.
Do you think everybody in the film did like a fantastic job?
The-
What about Jared Leto?
Well, that's the one gripe I have with the film is Jared Leto, because his character was just a rehash of Tyrell from the original Blade Runner. And I found his contact lenses kind of distracting.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way.
Jared Leto always gives me the impression that he's just trying too hard.
Yeah, I completely agree.
It almost never feels natural in a movie.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Jared Leto, I would call Blade Runner 2049 the perfect movie. I'd call it a masterpiece.
I feel like they could have casted somebody else, and it would have been awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
They should have got like Edward Norton or somebody like
Oscar
that.
Isaac or something.
Yeah,
I think-
Oscar Isaac.
I think Jared Leto was pretty great in Dallas Buyers Club.
Oh yeah,
But that was the
definitely.
only time where he ever felt like natural. Like I actually bought his performance.
He's
like,
decent in American Psycho.
Yeah, he's good in getting the shit beat out of him in
Fight Club, yeah.
Oh, and he's also great at getting shot in the fucking head in
Yeah.
Panic Room.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, with his stupid ass cornrows.
Spoiler alert, I guess. if you haven't seen that. Oh, wait, yeah, you want this? Yeah,
That's
go ahead.
great.
man. Yeah, that's why I put it here, so you guys can have cookies.
Thank you.
I made cookies for everybody.
Thank you so much, man.
And for such a technical marvel, the Blade Runner 2049 had a very poignant ending that nearly pulled the tears out of me. Like, I was very emotional at the ending, and I just thought it was the perfect way to end the film.
His best performance is in Suicide Squad.
I'm gonna have to agree.
Shit, man.
When he
Got
was
me there. I totally forgot
damaged,
about that.
When he was
Damaged.
damaged.
Me and Joker.
Very subtle.
Yeah.
Me and Joker broke up.
But that's
Me
my number
and Joker
12.
broke up. I'm the big bad bitch in town now.
Oh,
Harley frickin' Quinn.
Harley freaking Quinn.
speaking of which, we're actually going to do a Birds of Prey review.
That's
Yeah,
like a
yeah, we
meme
are.
review.
That's my most anticipated movie of the year, probably.
Yeah, but that's my number 12.
All right. Here we go. It's my turn, right? For number 12?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Drum roll. My number 12 is, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be happy about this one. My number 12 is Good Time.
Oh,
Awesome.
nice.
Wow.
I absolutely love that film.
You picked it over Uncut Gems.
I did pick it over Uncut Gems. It
Damn.
took long and painful thought. I think my personal favorite might be Uncut Gems, but like the objectivity meter was just like ringing off the hook when it came to Good Time, that it was kind of hard to ignore. But and I also think that Good Time, it gets me on an emotional level so much that I was compelled to pick that over Uncut Gems, because Good Time, the last 5 minutes of that film never ceases to make me cry. Like, it just makes me cry so much, and just the way that a song is used and the way that the conclusion is conveyed, it really gets to me. And beyond that, just the whole style of the film is incredible. I mean, it's another anxiety thrill ride from start to finish. And Robert Pattinson obviously gives an amazing performance. Honestly, thought he should have got nominated for that performance as well. Robert Pattinson getting snubbed big time. Yeah, and Benny Safdie, one of the directors of the film, plays his handicapped brother, and he was awesome in it. He was fantastic.
He was.
Yeah, the score to this is obviously incredible. The score is a character of its own in this film, as much as it is in pretty much any Safdie brothers film, I guess. But yeah, the score in this is incredible. The direction in this is incredible. The performances are incredible. The emotion that it just kicks my ass in the very end. It's just something that I can't go talking about without getting recognized. So yeah, I absolutely love Good Time. Love the style. Love the directing. Do I think it's Pattinson's career best performance? No, I'll give that to The Lighthouse.
Yeah.
The Lighthouse is his best performance. I can't wait to watch The Lighthouse again. But I only saw that one time in theaters. You guys saw it way more
I've
times
seen it
than I
4
have.
3 times.
Yeah.
4 times here.
Saw it once. I'm gonna watch it again at home at some point. So yeah, that's my number 13, guys. Good Time, number 13.
Just
Bob-
to,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go
no,
ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna do a shield again. If you haven't liked this video, please give it a like. It seems to the people in here go. It kind of goes up. It kind of goes up and down. I've seen it like go to 15 at one point. Now it's 10, which is cool. That's cool. I'm not offended. Don't worry. But if you haven't liked it yet, please give it a like. All right. What were you gonna say, Eric?
I was just gonna say that after the Uncut Gems review, I am even more keen on it now. I'm fucking in love with Uncut Gems, and I think it is a better movie than Good Time, and I like it better than Good Time. But that's just me, and I'm not here to argue that right now. Okay, so my number 11, kicking off. It's The Social Network by David Fincher.
Nice.
This movie is my pick. It's not. I'm not putting it on my list solely for the pick, but I think it's a movie that also defines like a generation. I think everything about this film is pretty much excellent. The score, the cinematography, the fucking the script / writing, performances. Everybody does a fantastic job in this film. It was one of the first like kind art house films that I've ever seen, and to this day, whenever I watch a scene from it, I'm just blown away by how fucking good everything is. David Fincher is such a fucking meticulous director, and everybody has different picks for his favorite film and his best film. And I have to say, like, this is, I think The Social Network is his best film, personally.
I don't know, man.
It's
a great film though. I don't blame you for picking that, but I just love Gone Girl so much. At least from this decade. It's not on my list, by the way, so don't worry, I'm not spoiling it. But I think Gone Girl is absolutely incredible.
It is.
But I won't give you I think The Social Network is a bit more relevant, and again, it captures the generation so well.
Yeah, I love The Social Network also because it's like it's not as like crazy dark as like Seven or Fight Club. It's really reserved, and the high stakes of the film just feel so real. And obviously liberties were taken, and it's not completely accurate to real life.
Story, yeah,
to real life. But I don't know, man. It's such a compelling story. It's like it's a 2010 film, and yet like it just conveyed like, you know, social networking and the lawsuits and even friendships and just like it.
The betrayal.
It conveys its themes so beautifully. I really think everybody should watch The Social Network again if they haven't seen it lately. It's fantastic. I love it.
You better lawyer up, asshole, because I'm
I'm
not
coming
coming back for 30%.
I'm coming back for everything.
I love that line.
That scene fucking...
It's funny, I've only seen the movie like once or twice. I know that line.
That scene fucking...
I haven't seen the movie in like literally 5 years.
Yep.
Yeah. That's a good pick, man. I didn't even really consider that too much.
I love The Social Network. Yep.
All right, Perry, I guess it's your turn.
My number 11. A lot of people are going to be pleased with this. My number 11 is Bong Joon-ho's Parasite.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know a lot of people were shocked to see me put this on it because I only gave it a 9 out of 10 when we reviewed it. It's definitely gone up since I've seen it again. I think this film is absolutely brilliant, and if it doesn't win Best Picture this year, I'm going to be devastated, and it's going to be one of the greatest travesties in Academy Award history.
Really?
In my opinion. I mean...
I kind of agree with that, too.
Just such a brilliant allegory, just such a brilliant script. The acting is phenomenal. The production design is otherworldly. I mean, I don't really have much issues with this film. Maybe too much, a little like, oh, this rock here is symbolic. But I mean, other than that, I don't really have issues with the film. I think it's a very important film, especially for the time we're living in, where, especially in like places like America and South Korea that have a huge class divide. I mean, look at our country alone. Like,
it's class warfare going on right now.
Yeah, exactly. 1% of the top 1% owns 90% of the wealth in America. So the Parasite is a very important film. And I feel like we're going to be talking about this film 50, 60 years from now. It's not just going to be, oh, this is a major Oscar contender and we're going to forget about it next year.
Yeah, to be honest, like, I think that out of all the Best Picture picks, I do think it's the best film out of all of those films. Like, you know, I don't think it's better than Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I don't think it's better than 1917, obviously, even though I really loved 1917 a lot, but I don't think it's better than Parasite, or I don't think it's better than Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, or Joker even. I love Joker, but I don't know if I would go as far as saying that it's better than Joker. But I don't know. Yeah, I definitely think that if Parasite wins, I'd be absolutely happy. If Joker won, I'm sorry guys, I would be happy with that. But I know that I would probably be in the minority there. I would be a little upset if Once Upon a Time in Hollywood won, just because I think it's getting a little overrated at this point. I mean, I really like it, but it just feels like it's getting too much love.
I disagree.
That would be the safe
I
pick where
disagree,
I'm not
Gary.
upset.
I mean,
I disagree.
I just why is Brad Pitt getting nominated for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood but not getting nominated for Ad Astra? Like, I feel like his performance in Ad Astra was more astonishing and compelling than fucking Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But
I don't necessarily.
I don't agree
but I
with that
respect the
either, but
opinion.
I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Well, I'm just, you know.
no, you're right.
I mean, I can't. I mean, every year there's always that one film that feels like it's movie of the year, like it's the movie that defines the year it came out. And a lot of people are going to argue and say Joker is the movie of 2019 just because it grossed over $1 billion. I disagree. I think Parasite is kind of that movie of the year. I think we're going to look back at 2019 and think Parasite.
I can
before
agree
we
with
think
that.
Joker.
Yeah, I don't know. I think both. It's kind of tough, man, because they're both kind of defining this year, like, really hardcore. Because they're both, I mean, they're not both about the same thing, but they both do touch on, like, class warfare a bit.
True.
I think
Obviously,
Joker is
But
like the Black
Parasite's
Horse.
a lot more subtle about it.
yeah, because to me, like, Joker, for me, the class warfare thing is more of, like, a sub-theme. I don't think that's, like, the central theme to the film. I think the central theme to Parasite is more about class warfare. But I think, obviously, Joker's more about, like, mental illness in a society that's, you know, society that obviously lacks a lot of empathy and doesn't have a lot of outlets for people who do have mental illness and what can happen when they get pushed too far. I think that's what it's more is about. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue with that, though. I think Parasite is a film that does define, you know, the year, and it is a film that people are going to remember forever and ever, I think. Yeah, someone asked something in the chat. I'm trying to remember what the hell they said.
Someone said, does Parasite deserve its 4.6
Yeah.
rating?
Fuck
On
yeah.
It
Letterboxd?
does.
Yes,
It does.
Fuck yes.
Absolutely. I mean, what's weird is it's actually got a higher rating than The Godfather, which I don't think Parasite's better than The Godfather. I mean, The Godfather's one of the greatest films ever made, if not the greatest film ever made. But, I mean, I can see why some people on the community on Letterboxd would rate it higher than The Godfather. I can see it.
I don't think it's that it's real. Well, it's just that it has a higher average. I mean, I guess you know that, but
Yeah, that's also something to factor in.
Yeah. So yes, I think it's deserved more or less. I don't think that's anything outlandish. I think a 4.6 is kind of reasonable.
And it's such a genre-bending film, too. It's like 5 genres in one film,
Yeah.
and it all feels tonally consistent.
Yeah.
It never feels like it goes too over the top or too outlandish to the point where it's not believable anymore. It all feels so believable and coherent.
There Will Be Blood is better than Parasite.
Yes, it is.
So somebody said that in the comments. I would agree that it is.
I agree with that, too.
well, I mean,
I mean, it's a weird
yeah, that's
movie
what
to
I was about
compare it
say,
to.
like, okay.
It's a weird comparison, but I
Yeah.
do think it is a better film overall. But both astonishing films, great films. Okay, let me go to number. What number are we on? 11? Okay. All right, here we go. My number 11 is The Handmaiden,
Oh,
Wow.
nice.
directed by Park Chan-wook. Yeah, this is a film that I saw, you know, everybody's watching this, you know that I did a review on it more like, I think like a month ago. Yeah, this film is absolutely incredible. It just blew me away. So many things about this film that I just absolutely appreciate in filmmaking. The recontextualization in this film is on a whole other level. As this movie goes along, like the meanings get enhanced, the meanings change, character context start to change. and it's absolutely incredible the way that it does it. And this is a film that again tackles like a whole like female empowerment aspect without feeling like it's spoon feeding it to me, and without feeling like it's being incredibly preachy to me about it. It's just a film that it tackles that thematic element in an incredibly natural way that I just really appreciate. And I need to watch more of Park Chan-wook. I've only seen The Handmaiden and Old Boy, and they're both incredible. I prefer The Handmaiden, but Old Boy's also a great film, and I definitely need to watch more of his work because
For sure, he's a great director.
Watch Thirst.
Thirst,
and
yeah.
Stoker. Check both of those out.
Yeah, I need to watch those films. So The Handmaiden was absolutely incredible. Incredible piece of filmmaking. I really enjoyed it. So that's my number 11.
Cool.
All right, it's time to go to number 10, Eric.
I respect it. My number 10 is gonna be like everybody should not be surprised. It is Moonlight, directed by Barry Jenkins.
Nice.
That's awesome.
One of the clear best fucking movies of the decade. I would be fucking surprised if somebody didn't fucking include it in there. It's just like, whoa, what the fuck, man? What are you doing with your life? should fucking but yeah, the movie is fucking beautiful. Like such a gorgeous looking movie. Amazing color palette. I love the blues and the fucking purples. A very important film. I think it's probably like the most important film that I'm gonna include on my list, just like on like a social, like kind of commentary kind of level. It really took something out of me. I think that Moonlight just deserves every bit of praise that it got the year it came out, and to this day. Fuck yeah! I mean, like I could fucking compliment everything about this film. So
Joshi said that Moonlight is his number 1 of the decade.
Someone said it was godly.
Yeah,
Gary
it is.
Stevenson's. It is godly.
It is. I agree.
Moonlight, yeah, fuck yeah! It deserves everything good it says about it. I've only seen it one time, so that might be a cinema sin. Fuck the channel Cinema Sins, by the way. But I've seen Moonlight once, and it has stuck with me so much since I've seen it, and I should probably give it another watch. It's not gonna go down. If anything, I'll probably just love it even more. But yeah, that movie fucking it makes me cry.
Yes, very emotional.
Very emotional.
Yeah.
I fucking yep. That's what I have
That's
to
number
say
10,
about
right?
Moonlight. Number 10. Yep.
How about you, Perry? What's your number 10?
My number 10, this is going to upset a lot of people. People are going to make arguments that this film should not be on the list, and they're going to be like, oh, I thought this was an objective rating list. Why do you have it at number 10, Perry? But we're getting into the 10 out of 10s now on the Savanto meter. My number 10 is from director David Lowery. It's A Ghost Story.
Yes! I'm so happy to see that on your list, dude.
This is the film that broke me.
Right.
This is the film that literally, like, just, it made me collapse into tears. Because this is one of the most, if not the most poignant film I have ever seen. It's extremely morbid, but it's extremely thought-provoking. And just such a beautiful film that touches on time and death and just so many different themes to get out of it. And it really made me feel like understand how minuscule I am in the grand scheme of things in the universe.
I absolutely agree, man.
But
I'm so happy to see that.
I thought this film was brilliant from start to finish. A lot of people complain about the acting. I disagree. I think the acting is fantastic. And I love how this is not a very dialogue-heavy film at all. It mainly focuses on visual storytelling, which I love because cinema is a visual art form. And I do feel like there are a lot of films out there that are way too dialogue-heavy, and this certainly isn't one of them. I just love the scene with Rooney Mara eating the pie because it was it really captured grief, you know, like no matter how much pie she ate or what she did, she could never fill the void. She could never feel the loss that she felt from losing her husband.
Yeah.
It absolutely blew me away.
I think it's a pretty brilliant movie too.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with everything you said, dude. I'm really happy to see that on your list. I think it's an objective pick. Fuck anybody who says this doesn't. I'm sorry, but I'll keep my mouth shut right now. Okay, so my number 10 is Climax.
Awesome.
Oh, nice.
Climax made all of our lists, right?
Yeah.
It did.
So I guess it's the highest though on my list, I guess. But yeah, I mean they kind of already touched on it, but Climax, I mean, it's got everything that I would love out of a film. The direction is stunning, especially how he uses the camera throughout the entire film. It's just incredible. There's a lot of... This film feels like it's just one long take. It really does. I don't know if it is, but I know for a fact there are a lot of really long takes in this film. And it works incredibly well for what it's going for. It makes the thrill seem much more engaging. You feel like you're in it because if you feel like you're in it because of that style. And the anxiety that you just get out of this film is on a whole other level. And I love how thematic it is as well, because people kept saying, oh, this movie's just hollow. I disagree. I think that it's deeply thematic in certain ways. I think it has a bunch of different characters in it, but it really handles all these characters incredibly well and gives the vast majority of them their own little arcs at the end of it. And it's just a really well-handled film. And to know that Gaspar Noé basically already casted this movie without a script and was already working on it without a script is quite incredible, especially how good it came out to be. So, I absolutely love Climax. I think it's incredible, and it's my favorite Gaspar Noé film. Irreversible's phenomenal, but it's like a film that I can't really... It's a film that I really, really, really have to brace myself for to watch again. Climax is something that I can pretty much watch anytime and get something incredible out of it, so... Climax, my number 10, guys.
Well, it's so rewatchable because there's so many different things going on. Like, you have to watch it multiple times to catch everything.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to catch everything on the first viewing.
Yeah.
And I remember when we actually watched Climax, when we reviewed it, I got so anxious that my legs actually cramped up, and I had to watch the last 5 minutes of the film from the back of the auditorium. Because I literally had to stand up and
I remember that too.
walk because I felt like I could not move. My legs were in so much pain because my body just completely tensed up. If that doesn't say anything about Climax, I don't know what does.
All right. Eric's time to give his number 9.
So my number 9 is going to be Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
Hey!
Nice.
Me and Perry didn't get to talk about this, but obviously you should check out Carlos's review. It's really great, and he touches on a lot of what I would have said. So I'll just give a brief summary of what I think. Everything about it is like pretty perfect. I think it's basically a masterpiece. I want to rewatch it again. I want to rewatch it in a more comfortable setting, kind of like in the theater. But
it just comes out in February in our
Valentine's Day.
Yeah, we're gonna watch it in theaters.
It's like Carlos said in the review, it's a super, super simple film, and I really appreciate it because it really does have a lot to say about. Man, I don't know. Like it conveys so much emotion and so much of the period just with visuals and not a whole heavy lot of dialogue. And it's super gorgeous. Like, it's one of the films that that really makes you feel like you're in the time period of which it's taking place, and it does it without having to need like a crazy big production spectacle. It's just a very intimate, very believable and amazing kind of tale of that time. The ending scene is one of the best of the year, one of the best I've seen in a long time. Yeah. And
the ending to that film is on a whole other level. Like,
yeah, there's a lot of shots that are just like very poignant and really makes you feel something like special. And it goes by with like it breezes by. Yeah, that movie just it went by like as if I was watching an action film, and it's so fucking like subtle, like I said.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I would make the argument that action films feel longer than Portrait of a Lady on Fire because they don't really have anything to offer.
Yeah, it's super immersive, and I definitely think that should be a movie people keep an eye out. And yeah, I mean, I fucking adore that film. I think everybody should see it.
All right, Perry, you're trying to get number 9.
My number 9 is another one of your honorable mentions. It's Thomas Vinterberg's The Hunt.
Oh,
Nice.
I'm glad it's on your list, man.
I absolutely thought this film was brilliant. I mean, it handled, like, this is such another really important film, especially now more than ever with the whole Me Too movement going on, because it actually showed, it touched on sexual assault, but from the perspective of a person being accused rather than who was being sexually assaulted. And it had a lot of interesting things to say, and it felt so incredibly nuanced. I mean, Mads Mikkelsen is an extremely underrated actor. He is phenomenal in this film. Thomas Vinterberg, I have a bias towards him because he's Danish. And Danish filmmakers are my favorite. But even putting my biases aside, like, this is just a perfect movie. When I first watched it, I was like, 9 out of 10. But the more I thought about it, I don't really have any issues with The Hunt. I think it's perfect from start to finish.
I gave that film a 10 out of 10.
I give it a 10 out of 10.
I'm not ashamed.
Yeah, I mean, I just love the ending. The ending is perfect too. It has such ambiguity, and there's so much to read into.
So it's like metaphorical. Like,
yeah.
I also love the ending. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy because, like, I don't think we'll ever get a film like The Hunt again, Especially,
that film would not exist in America. It
would
wouldn't.
not.
It would get chastised and probably just brushed under the rug.
Yeah. It'd be like, it just...
They would see it as too problematic,
Right. I
Whatever.
completely agree.
A great companion piece to The Celebration.
I haven't seen The Celebration.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to watch The Celebration. It is fantastic. Another thing I will say about the...
What the fuck is happening?
What?
9 inches for your little booty. Who's climaxing,
That's my role
bro?
model.
Someone's climaxing in our fucking chat.
Nice.
Can you toss me the water bottle?
Come on, Chad. I'm trying to rant about The Hunt.
You want anything to drink?
I'd just like some water. Yeah, but going back to The Hunt, like you said, it would be considered too problematic. What is going on in the
I don't
chat
know. Just
right
ignore it. Just ignore it.
now? All right, well, moving on. That was my number 9.
All right. Talk about sexual assault. I'm just kidding.
I start talking about The Hunt, and the chat goes wild. I think we were watching 2 different movies.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
My number 9 is You Were Never Really Here.
Yes!
Directed by Lynn Ramsey. Starring Joaquin Phoenix. Such an incredible film. I watched this in theaters. And this film, I watched this probably like... I watched this one probably like, I think 3 or 4 times in theater. I can't remember I definitely capitalized on the fact that it was playing in a theater because it is a film that I think is best experienced in a theater setting. But it's an incredible film. I mean, the fucking camera work is something that's out of this world. I got in an argument with somebody on my video for it saying that the camera work was absolutely shitty. But Tate Robinson, I noticed you. There you go, bud.
Called you senpai.
Yeah, call me senpai. I'm flattered. The camera work in it, I think, is absolutely stunning, especially that lake scene in the film.
Yes.
That's one of the most mesmerizing pieces of cinema that I've seen this decade. I think it's absolutely incredible. Yeah, I mean, I really love Lynn Ramsey as a director. I think that she is completely underrated when it comes to female directors. Nobody talks about her at all when it comes to, female directors. You hear a lot of shit about Greta Gerwig, but, like, no love for Lynn Ramsey, no love for, like, Jennifer Kent either.
Jennifer Kent.
She's...
Claire Denis.
Maybe it's just because they make, like, boundary-pushing stuff and they, like, make really gritty shit, but, like, their films are absolutely incredible, and you know, from like a visual aesthetic level, and just from like the sound too, because the sound design in their films are also really good. I think they're incredible, and they deserve to be recognized as such. And I've talked my head off about this film already in previous videos. I have a whole explained video on it. I'll talk about it, but just know that it's number 9 on my list, and I think it's absolutely incredible. By the way, there's 40 people in here. Please give it a like, and thanks for dropping by. Thank you so much. I appreciate your spectatorship.
Cool.
All right, Eric, your turn.
So my number 8 is a film that I think Carlos is going to be pleased with. It's Birdman,
Hey,
Nice.
directed by Alejandro Gonzalez Iñárritu.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, this movie, you know what? I feel like this movie is one of those films that is endlessly rewatchable. I have so much entertainment watching. I mean, it's like, I don't even think it's supposed to necessarily be an entertaining movie. Like, it has a lot to say. And it's super energetic, obviously, through the way it's filmed. It's supposed to seem as if it's like one take. It's brilliant. Probably the best movie to utilize that technique. It could either be a gimmick or technique, depending what movie it is. But man, Michael Keaton does a fucking brilliant job. It has a crazy cast that I think everybody gets a good chance to shine. Where it's like, it's very purposeful. Everybody just does enough, and nobody feels like super underutilized.
Yeah.
It's a really brilliant film.
Edward Norton too.
Edward Norton. It's I'm probably gonna get shit for saying this, but I think it's my favorite performance of his.
Edward Norton.
Yeah.
American History X is really good, and he's really great in it. But I think I can almost agree with you with that. I think he's great. He's so good in Birdman.
Yeah, he is.
Y'all gotta watch Primal Fear.
I
Check
own-
out Primal Fear.
I own that
one
movie, and
is
I've owned it for so long, and I've never watched it.
Dude, you have to watch Primal Fear.
Emma Stone gives one of my fucking like favorite fucking like I don't know if it's I guess it's a monologue.
It counts, yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know why every time I hear that fucking monologue I just get chills. I'm like, Jesus, that makes the movie just even better than it already is. And yeah, like I said, like it's funny because it's kind of spoofing like well, the point of the film is not to spoof superhero movies, but that's an aspect to it.
It is.
Yeah. And like, oh my god, it's so much more entertaining than like countless fucking superhero movies, to me anyways. And the ending is like fucking perfect. It's I think it's easily one of the best films of the decade, and I'd be surprised if people don't include it in their list too. I love Birdman for sure.
That's your number. Is it number 8?
Yeah, my number 8. And I need to watch more Iñárritu films.
Please do, because Amores Perros is so good.
Yeah.
21 Grams is probably one of my favorites from him. Even
Babel.
Babel is great. I love that film. The Revenant's good too. So.
Yeah, he's a masterful director for sure.
Oh, before I say my number 8, Verma, Edward Norton was not in Prestige. That was Christian Bale and Hugh Jackman. Edward Norton was in The Illusionist. And Tate Robinson, I love The Tree of Life. These two guys haven't seen it.
No.
I forgot to mention that as one of my honorable mentions. It didn't quite make the list, but I think Tree of Life is a brilliant film, and I'm a Terrence Malick fan through and through. I just wanted to go ahead and address that.
Thanks for doing that, because sometimes like I want to address it, but I don't want to cut you guys off.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm like, oh,
I just kind of try to keep a mental note.
Same.
And I'm glad that Perry has the chat up so I can see it.
Yeah.
I might keep the chat up too. Fuck it.
All right, go ahead and go ahead and.
Oh, and my number 8 is... This is going to be another controversial pick because I know a lot of people hate this filmmaker and a lot of people think he's extremely overrated. My number 8 is Darren Aronofsky's Black Swan.
Awesome.
That's good shit.
I am a huge fan of surrealism. I've always been a huge fan of surrealism, and I think it is utilized perfectly in Black Swan. I mean, the performances are phenomenal. I'm not even a fan of Mila Kunis, but she was incredible in Black Swan. She nearly stole the show from Natalie Portman. Even the guy that plays the dance instructor, I'm not familiar with the actor's name. He was incredibly believable. Like
He was an Irreversible.
He was
I
an
think.
Irreversible.
yeah, he was
Yeah.
in Irreversible, which Eric pointed out to me on the way here.
Great cast.
But Black Swan is absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, it is just really off the wall, batshit insane. It's just incredibly disturbing. But I think it's got a lot to say about, perfection and human, I love how it really mocks the idea of striving perfection and, trying to make art this perfect thing as opposed to letting art feeling as organic as possible, trying to always, I don't know, instead of letting things feel organic, just trying to make everything as perfect as possible, because I feel like one of the things the film is trying to say is the fact that something isn't perfect is what gives it personality.
Yeah.
What gives
Yeah.
it a lot more depth and believability.
And trying to get the perfect art, at the expense of a human being as well.
Exactly. There are so many shots in the film that really, fucked with my head, through and through. There are just so many scenes that really... I have nightmares. This film actually gave me legitimate nightmares. The scene where all the paintings that are done by
Oh yeah.
Natalie Portman's mother just start talking and start
creepy.
yelling. That really freaked me out.
Kind of remind me of the piano teacher in a way.
Yeah, I can
That's
see
right.
that. And I think it's really crazy how Natalie Portman, her character's 28 in the film, yet she's treated like such a little child.
Exactly.
She doesn't have any freedom. It's all her entire life revolves around the expectations that are put on her by the dance academy and her mother. And I also think it has a lot to do with jealousy and how paranoid people become out of jealousy. I just think it's a brilliant film.
So just to recap, he said Black Swan was his number 8.
Yep.
I'm only saying that because I see we got 16 people in here. Welcome everybody. Nice to have you here to spectate our top 15 best of the decade. If you haven't dropped a like, please give us a like. That would really help this video out a lot. Now it's time to give him my number 8. So here we go, fellas. My number 8 is Arrival. Directed by Denis Villeneuve. So it was a toss-up for me between Blade Runner 2049 and Arrival. And what really got me to pick Arrival, as usually, is this is the usual factor when I'm trying to decide which movie I think is more impactful or more impressive. It just gets me on such a deep emotional level that it's just really hard for me to ignore, because it's just, I love Blade Runner 2049, and yes, it's emotional, but Arrival is just so much more emotionally impactful for me, and it just does so much that, it's thought-provoking, it's an incredibly smart film, it's incredibly well written, because it deals with, a lot of complex aspects of language, and what that actually means, and the potential that language has in terms of communication, and how the film kind of infers, maybe it could have something to do with time as well. And I just loved how complex and emotional the film was, and it's and also it's a sci-fi. I love a good alien movie, and it really did a good job with the whole alien aspect as well. I thought it kept that aspect pretty subtle. It didn't feel like I was watching some, alien blockbuster. It really felt like an alien art house kind of film. And it, on top of that, the aesthetics are stunning. It's visually stunning. The score is great. I forgot the name of the track, but I think it's The Nature of Daylight or something like that. The score alone, I could just hear the score and it will make me cry. It is incredibly emotional, and I absolutely love that film. I know that there's some people who really do not like Arrival that much, but I'm sorry, I'm an Arrival stan, and I absolutely love it, and I'm always going to love it. So, what's her name? Amy Adams, sorry, just drew a blank there. Amy Adams gives a great performance in that film as well. Probably one of my favorite performances that she gives. Yeah, I love Arrival so damn much. That's why it's my number 8.
Yeah.
Max Richter, yes, On the Nature of Daylight. That's exactly what it's called.
Amy Adams getting her fucking day in the sun. She picks great film. She picked a lot of great films this decade.
Oh yeah, she did. Especially in
Especially Batman v Superman.
playing the ultimately charismatic Lois Lane.
Where she's there just to get rescued. Tate Robinson, I'm definitely gonna check out. It's such a beautiful day.
I hear a lot of people love that film.
I'm gonna definitely check that one out.
Yeah, I hear a lot of good things about it.
All right, Eric, it's time for your number 7.
Number 7, we're getting up there, boys.
Getting up there, man.
So, my number 7 has been represented already, but it's The Master, directed by Paul Thomas Anderson.
Nice.
Fuck, man. This is easily my favorite performance by Joaquin Phoenix. You know what? Joaquin Phoenix, he plays, like, very mentally kind of disturbed characters a lot of the time. You can make an argument that he even does that in Her. But, I think, like, I get more, like, creep, like, unsettling vibes, even compared to You Were Never Really Here, in different ways. It's not like a linear, like, oh, which one's, like, you know, more whatever. But, yeah, he's such a fucking ticking time bomb, and he's, like, he's used and masterminded by Philip Seymour Hoffman so fucking well. Like, everything about The Master is really great and worth praising. Like Perry said, it's gorgeous. It's so beautiful. I don't really like films set in the 50s just because personal, like, I'm not really into it. But it's aesthetically just, yeah, like, incredible. It has a lot to say by, like, yeah, Scientology and mental illness, PTSD. Fucking, yeah, it's not my favorite Paul Thomas Anderson, but that's crazy that There Will Be Blood and Punch Drunk Love exists, because this film is fantastic. Yeah, Amy Adams is also in the film. Like we were just talking about, she's great. She plays just Philip Seymour Hoffman's wife, and she doesn't have too much screen time in the film, but she's utilized so well. Even Rami Malek, he's such a beloved actor now, but even he does like a really great job in the film. And yeah, I don't agree with people that the film kind of fizzles out. Like, it does in a sense fizzle out, but I think it's done purposeful and it's done like effectively. It's not like a very like linear thing like There Will Be Blood. Like, there's very precise conflict in the film that gets resolved, like in There Will Be Blood. It's just a film about like two guys in their journey through life, like this one point in their life that really changed things for them. It's it's a beautiful film, and I love The Master so much.
There were other movies with similar accomplishments that had more to do with. Oh, yeah. Eric, if you want to read that from Tate Robinson real quick, or if you want to read it out.
I want to read it.
Yeah.
Some guy's gonna grill me. I'm reading.
No, he's I think Tate Robinson asked in his summary that he thinks that it's a great film, you know, all around, you know, when it comes to the aesthetics and the theme. But he says that there are other films that like did the same thing and are better or something like that.
Well, he said, to be precise, he says many critique the movie for not saying enough.
Oh, for not.
I think
saying
it has a lot to say.
He said that there are other films with similar accomplishments, and that many critique the movie for not saying enough. And he said sorry for the paragraph.
I can kind of I can see where you're coming from with that. I think that's one of the reasons why it didn't make my top 15, because like most people say, it kind of fizzles out in the third act. It's the fact that I feel like it didn't, like, I feel like the third act didn't say anything more than what the first two acts already said.
Yeah.
Like, I love the third act, don't get me wrong, I love the entire film, but like, I just feel like maybe if the third act has something more extraordinary and more insightful to say about, you know, its whole theme, maybe I would have, you know, and maybe it would have made the list, but I feel like the third act just didn't really do enough. Like, it wasn't really that, there wasn't really a big payoff there in the end, and I didn't feel like I got much out of it.
That's the thing. That's like where I disagree. Like I get it. Like I understand that feeling that people are feeling with the master and like not feeling a sense of closure and a sense of satisfaction. But I don't know. I really appreciate the direction that Paul Thomas Anderson took in the master, and how it was just like, I don't know, almost a blip in the radar with like the grand scheme of things. It didn't feel as grandiose as, like I said, There Will Be Blood. Even though, yeah, I do think There Will Be Blood is like the better film. But still, I appreciate that about the master. I think it had plenty to say throughout the course of the film, and it's super subtle. It's not in your face. I think it's something that's different.
I mean, that one scene alone with Philip Seymour Hoffman and the skeptic in the room says a lot on its own.
Oh my god.
So yeah,
one of the best fucking scenes.
One of my
the
favorite
decade.
scenes ever.
God damn, such a good scene.
So yeah, I understand where you're coming from with that, Eric. So
yeah, I like it for that reason too. Yeah, that's not a negative, but I think it has plenty to say. I completely disagree that it doesn't say enough. That's just me.
All right, if you want, we can. Do you guys want to move on or what?
I was gonna acknowledge something that was said in the chat.
What was up?
Gary Stevens said, "There Will Be Blood" is way better than The Master.
Yeah, I already clarified that.
Yeah, I mean, like they said in the chat, that's not a really fair comparison. I mean, it's film criticism. It's all subjective, you know. But I don't feel like comparing The Master to There Will Be Blood's fair at all. Like, The Master's a brilliant film, but There Will Be Blood is one of the greatest films of all time.
I think it's fair in a sense that it's from the same director. So if we're just comparing the director's work, then it's like okay.
That's true.
But if we're comparing like a similar theme, then no, they're completely different.
Yeah.
I just don't like the comparison because like saying There Will Be Blood is a better film doesn't take away anything from The Master.
True. Yeah.
That's my biggest problem is because yeah, There Will Be Blood is incredible, but like we're not talking about There Will Be Blood. I don't know. It's like both are great films, and one just happens to achieve higher than the other, but that doesn't take away from what the master achieved.
By the way, I don't think all film criticism is subjective, so I don't agree with Perry there. But.
Well, not all film criticism, but I'm saying like in terms of like comparing
or taste and stuff like that. Yeah,
taste and whatnot.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the master gives literally probably two of the best performances of the fucking decade, and even further probably. Personally.
All right, let's keep it rolling. This video's getting a little long.
I know.
So let's get we're on number 7, right?
Yep.
All right. Perry's about to give his number 7, guys.
Sticking with it's funny that you mentioned Paul Thomas Anderson's The Master, because number 7 for me is a Paul Thomas Anderson film set in the 50s. You already know what it is. It's Phantom Thread.
Hell yeah.
I mean, the fact that Daniel Day-Lewis claimed that this was his retirement film, this was the perfect way for him to go out. I think this film is a masterpiece, and I think it's one of the, like, in terms of capturing all the complexities of a relationship, I mean, Phantom Thread just absolutely crushed it.
The complexities and the subtleties.
Yeah, the complexities and the subtleties. Like, the reason why this film is so masterful is the dynamic between the relationship of Daniel Day-Lewis and I don't know who the actress that plays his I don't know the actress that plays his girlfriend in the film, but it's
she was casted really well though.
Yeah, she was phenomenal, and I mean just the dynamics are so complex, and it goes into routes that you're not expecting, because with a lot of Hollywood films,
Vicky Krieps, yes, that's who it was.
Vicky Krieps, thank you. With a lot of Hollywood films, they make relationships to be so like A = B = C, you know, like they make it all seem so simplistic, like, oh, if two people love each other, then they're going to be together forever.
Yeah. Or
love is all you need to stay together. But with Phantom Thread, it really captured, like, the complexities of keeping a relationship together. And I love Daniel Day-Lewis's arc in the film, how he had to, because he's such a perfectionist, but he had to come to really accept Vicky Krieps for the person that she was, as opposed to try to change her, which I think is a really important, a really great message to have in your film. Because I feel like that's a huge problem in our society, especially with relationships, is instead of accepting a person for who they are, you try to change them so much that they kind of lose their identity.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, man. I also absolutely love that film to death. I give that film a 10 out of 10 when I reviewed it.
10.
All right, moving on to my number 7. By the way, before I start, 60 people in here. What's up, everybody? If you're just now coming in here, we're on our 7th pick, and it's my turn. They gave their 7. Your 7 was what?
It was The Master.
His 7 was The Master. His 7 was...
2 PTAs.
Yeah, 2
Yeah.
PTAs.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I broke your rule because normally you don't have when you do a list, you don't have more than one film from the same director.
Yep, so... Oh, yeah, that's true. You did break the rule there. So, Perry's was Phantom Thread. Eric's was The Master. My number 7 is not a PTA film. It is...
It's a
It
W.
is.
Sanderson.
It is a Nicholas Winding Refn film, and you guys already know what it is. It's Drive.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
So my number 7 is Drive, which is obviously directed by Nicholas Winding Refn, starring Ryan Gosling. Drive, yes. Drive was one of those movies that also really helped me see filmmaking in a different light. And it's also just an incredibly stylistically badass film. It's got such an iconic aesthetic to it, and it's just directed in such a precise, meticulous way that just screams perfection. The score is beautifully timed with the entire film. There's thematic symbolism that's just kind of hidden throughout the entire film that you wouldn't even notice on the first time around. The subtle performance from Ryan Gosling and pretty much everyone else in this film is perfect, and again, you have to give thanks to Refn there because he's just a master at film directing, in my opinion. This is a film. I mean, I don't know if everybody would love this film. I can see some casual moviegoers watching this and not being able to put up with the pace and some of the awkward pauses or whatever. But I love the pace of this film. It's one of the most iconic films in terms of style that came out this decade, and I love it so fucking much, and that's why it's number 7 on my list. I talked my head off about this film already too, so I guess we'll move on. Someone says something if I've seen a certain movie. Did you say 1981?
Have you seen Thief 1981?
No, I have not seen that movie. I'm sorry.
He said if not, you should watch it back to back.
Okay.
I was so disappointed in Too Old to Die Young.
Because I felt like The Master was an aesthetic masterpiece with subtle commentary that could have sold way more. I don't know. I love Too Old to Die Young. That was a cinematic experience for me.
I really loved it too.
It's just, I don't know, like...
It's my second favorite thing Refn has done.
Yeah, I can probably agree to that, honestly. Like, I really loved it. It felt like a 13-hour-long film, and I honestly really never wanted it to end. Like, if we could just get that, like, forever and ever, I would always keep watching it, because I just think it's so badass. And it had a lot of brilliant, like, character and plot moments that I thought were really surprising, especially for, like, a Refn film. Like, I think he just did some things that are really awesome. And there's also, like, some, like... symbolism in the film as well. Like there's like parts where you see the United States flag is like upside down with like blood on it. Like you see that like in the background after like a big crime scene, and that's like you could read into that as symbolism. It just has everything that you would love out of a Nicholas Winding Refn film, except 13 hours long. I can see why some people would be kind of disappointed by it, I could see that, but I really loved it. I'm on 20% battery, so we're gonna try to run. Well,
Okay.
not run through it, but let's kind of get this in a somewhat decent fashion.
Okay. No problem.
So let's move on to number 6. What's your number 6?
All right, my number 6
I'll be right back.
is...
Bud. Go ahead.
My number 6 is Amor from Michael Haneke or Mikhail Haneke.
Nice.
I think, oh man, you know what? The director's time to shine was the 2000s, but this is definitely one of his best films, and it was made in 2010's 2012 film. Oof, this film is so incredibly authentic. I know I've used that word already, but it's really a film that doesn't try and feel theatrical in any way. None of his films do really, but it feels so incredibly authentic to how somebody like love. It's in the name. Like when you love somebody that much and you're just willing to take care of somebody when they have such a devastating illness and they don't even know who you are at points. It's super sad, and it's not an amazing film because it's like super sad. It just is kind of like a byproduct. It tells it like it is, and it's incredibly shot. Of course, you expect it from the director. He's an incredibly exceptional director, and the two actors, kind of old. Obviously, it's kind of the point of the film. Like, they do such a brilliant job with what they have. I think everybody should watch it, even if you're not into foreign films. Honestly, I probably think it should have won best director that year. I think I looked into it and I was like, I'm kind of mad this Amour didn't win best director.
By the way, Joshi, yes, it's the same person that directed Cache and Funny Games.
Yes, very incredibly brilliant film.
Danish filmmaker, I may add.
I have a scene analysis on Funny Games. Check that out.
Danish filmmaker?
Mikhail Haneke?
No, he's French.
He's an Austrian.
Oh, really? He's Austrian?
I thought he was Danish.
He's an Austrian filmmaker.
Oh,
so
I thought he
he's
was French.
So he's German.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Perry.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, somebody. I'm sorry, I wasn't laughing at you, Eric. Someone keeps on mentioning cats in the chat.
Oh yeah, that's
Go
up there.
Going to number 6. This has already been mentioned already. It's Celine Sciamma's Portrait of a Lady on Fire. I
That's
know
awesome.
this came out, but I mean, it skyrocketed up to number 6. I mean, this, like we said, this film is a masterpiece through and through, and it is absolutely gorgeous. Every shot, every shot in the film looks like a painting.
Yep.
And it's a film that
I kinda
talks
agree.
about female oppression and regret in such an incredibly subtle way. Like I said, we've already talked about it, so we're just going to keep moving on.
Well, funny enough, my number 6 is Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
Yes!
Yeah, my number 6 is Portrait of a Lady on Fire. Obviously, I think it's an incredible piece of filmmaking. I have a whole video review on it. If you haven't seen it, please check it out. Portrait of a Lady on Fire, like you said, every scene, every frame of this looks like a painting. It's got some artsy, like symbolic moments in it of like foreshadowing that I think are incredible. The ending is just the most emotionally powerful, subtle character moment that I've seen in a very long time, and I absolutely love it. Yeah, incredible piece of filmmaking. I've already talked my head off about Portrait of a Lady on Fire, so if you want to hear more about that, just watch my review on it. Yeah, incredible film. All right, it's time to air.
Tate didn't hear what I said. The title of the film I said for my number 6 was A Portrait of a Lady on Fire, and Carlos's had the same for his number 6.
Yep, we have
Yep.
the same number 6.
And I talked about it earlier in my list.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So we're at number 5, right?
Number 5 now.
Okay, so people are gonna get mad at me for this one.
Oh shit.
Some people are gonna be like, "What the fuck? That's not fair." It is Dogtooth.
Nice.
Interesting.
So you know what? I'm not counting Antichrist as a 2010 film. I'm not counting Enter the Void. So Dogtooth, I do consider to be a 2010 film because of film festivals, stuff like that.
Okay.
So this is a film I fucking think about often. I do think it's Yorgos Lanthimos' best film. It's very disturbing, but it's disturbing with a point. Like it has so much to say. I love it's kind of a commentary on being really overprotected and fascism even. It's
Yes.
Conformity, definitely.
yeah, conformity.
Propaganda, brainwashing.
Brainwashing, yeah, exactly. It's, man, it pulls no punches at all. It really does not. It's a fantastic fucking film for, I think it was his debut. It might have been his debut feature film.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh.
I know, she's back. She's back for more fucking...
All right, I'm sorry. Continue,
Yeah,
Eric.
she heard Dogtooth and incest. That really got something out of him.
Yeah.
I don't mean to interrupt. I'm so
She really gets
sorry.
something out of him.
No, it's okay. Yeah, I think this film was fucking brilliant. I love it so much. I think everybody should get out of their comfort zone and watch Dogtooth.
Yes, it's a really uncomfortable movie, but it's an incredible art piece. I think it's great too.
Yeah.
All right,
Fuck yes.
what about your number 5, Perry?
My number 5. Now, I said Joaquin Phoenix's best performance was in The Master, But the best film I've seen him in is Spike Jonze's Her.
Oh,
Cool.
okay. I thought you were about to say Joker for a second.
Come on, man. You know me better than that. I said I'm trying to be objective here. Yeah, but Her is such a brilliant film, and I think this is another one of those films that it came out, it was right place, right time, especially us living in the digital age, and, you know, Joaquin Phoenix developing a relationship with his cell phone, and of course it being voiced by Scarlett Johansson. I mean, this...
What?
just the way you looked at me.
No, I'm just looking at you, bro.
I mean, I feel like since technology's only evolving, I feel like this film is going to be even more appreciated as time goes by. And it doesn't beat you over the head with, oh, this takes place in the future.
Yeah.
It never pops up, says, Los Angeles, 2049, or like anything like that.
The environment and setting is gorgeous,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's purposeful.
And it just exists in the background.
It's believable.
Yeah. Someone said that. What did they say?
Someone says,
You made Perry fall down. You're an asshole.
Are you okay, bro?
sorry, I got a really bad like.
Someone said,
Jesus Christ.
I ate out my ex to this movie in the background.
At least you didn't eat out your eggs to fucking Solo in the background.
I ate out my ex to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in the background. I'm just kidding. I know. That never happened.
Sorry, I got a cramp in my leg.
Oh my god. Damn you, Tate Robinson.
It's climax all over again.
Well, with that note, I'm going to go ahead and get my number 5.
Yeah, do that.
My number 5 is A Ghost Story.
Yes!
My number 5 is A Ghost Story. I think that film is... That film represents everything that I love about filmmaking. It's a film that is brought to life purely through the filmmaking means. The score is incredibly emotional. It packs a punch to every single frame of the film. Every time I listen to the score, no matter where I'm at, it definitely gets me emotional. That's how effective I think the film was. And I love the themes about it as well, about our place here in the universe. How we tend to take things for granted all the time when we shouldn't, because all we have is time and all we have is now. And I've talked a lot about this film already, but yeah, incredible piece of filmmaking. That's why Ghost Story is my number 5, guys.
Awesome. I respect it. It's spoiler alert. It's not on my list. I didn't mention it at all, but I also think it's a brilliant film, and people should check it out.
Yeah.
Perfectly conveyed through storytelling.
What was that?
That was from over here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, moving on.
All right, time
I
for
guess-
Eric to give his number 4 now.
My number 4, everybody gets their fucking groans and pitchforks, but it is Parasite, directed by Bong Joon-ho.
Damn, that's high up there.
Yeah, it sure is. You know what? I'll keep it brief since it's already in everybody's mind. This film, I really respect this film for being able to transcend and speak to basically all audiences, like unless if you're a fucking billionaire, I guess, and not sacrifice artistic integrity. That's
true.
You know, it's not as gritty as Memories of Murder, but it doesn't need to be. Like, it's still pretty fucking gritty, but not too much to where you just think it's shock for shock's sake. It's a really masterfully made film. Cinematography fucking incredible, direction incredible, acting all good. I hope it wins Best Picture. Sang Kang-ho, the main actor, or one of the main actors, I think he should have been nominated for Best Actor. And
Best supporting actor.
I guess Best Supporting Actor. Fucking, yeah, Parasite is one of the greatest. Fuck you if you think otherwise. I'm just kidding. But, goddamn, I love Parasite. Fucking watch it. Fuck off billionaires, I guess.
All right, Perry, are you done?
Back from the leg cramp. Oh, fuck. No.
Okay. What did you do, Perry?
Just when I fell out of my chair. My leg really
You can do it standing up if you want it.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Barry's having a serious land cramp situation.
My number 4 is Park Chan-wook's The Handmaiden.
Oh,
Good
that's awesome.
shit.
This is really high up. This film is just...
You need more salt, Barry.
Say it again.
Jody said you need more salt. You're getting that many leg cramps. You need more salt.
We got some
man.
salt right here.
You need a,
Here, give me that.
you need a banana in you.
We touched on this film.
Oh fuck.
Go ahead, Perry.
We've touched on this film already, but I think this, even though I've only seen it once, I can honestly say that this is one of the best of the decade. I mean, every shot is just so like symmetrical, and it's all very purposeful and very restrained, and it's just incredibly nuanced. And I mean, I feel like in terms of like feminist cinema, like this is a very important piece of feminist cinema, and it doesn't beat you over the head with, you know, what it's trying to say about, you know, female. It doesn't beat you over the head with what it's trying to say. It's all incredibly subtle. Sorry, I'm trying to give a mini review while trying to have a really bad leg cramp.
Well, it's
Happens
okay.
to the best of us. I had an enormous leg cramp in Portland.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
I don't
Upstream
mean to
Color. I
stammer.
haven't seen Upstream Color. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I hate to stammer so much, everyone, but I have a really bad leg cramp at the moment.
It's all right.
You can go ahead and give your number 4.
All right, moving on. My number 4 is Moonlight.
Nice.
So that's really high up there for me. An incredibly beautiful film in pretty much every way. The performances are outstanding. The cinematography is so fucking beautiful and emotional. The score is absolutely stunning. I watched the trailer to this just, you know, like I watched the trailer like last week just to like watch it. And like the trailer just captures the film so well. Like when I was watching the trailer, all the emotions that I felt while watching Moonlight was brought back with that trailer, and it really made me emotional. And yeah, it's really hard for me to actually just watch the trailer without getting emotional. It was really something else. Yeah, Moonlight is an incredible film. It's a really important film as well.
Very important
It's
film.
important, and yeah, I'm really happy that it won Best Picture, and that it beat out La La Land apparently for Best Picture. But
Deservedly so.
it was one of the better Best Picture picks that I've seen in a long time.
For
so,
sure, yeah.
yeah, Moonlight's my number 4. Time for Eric to give his number 3.
My number 3, we're in the top 3, boys.
Yep.
Okay. So my number 3 is Under the Skin, directed by Jonathan
Under the
Glazer.
Skin, number 3.
Yeah, I mean, since Perry touched on it already, it's an incredibly abstract film. I think it's easily Scarlett Johansson's best performance. Oh my god, this movie is terrifying. Like, it legitimately, like, it has... Everybody who's seen it knows the scene. Like, the scene that just makes you fucking chills wherever you're watching it. And it has a lot to say. It has a lot to say while being extremely visual, very beautiful, and creepy and disturbing. Like, it's a genre mixing film, and I love its tone. It's so like cosmic, and yet like very down to earth and alien. Everything about it is fucking alien as fuck. And yeah, I truly think it's one of the best films of the decade, and one of my favorites.
I'm not even gonna disagree with that, man.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. All right, Perry, go and give your number 3.
Sorry about that. Episode over. My number 3 is actually Moonlight from Barry Jenkins.
Oh shit, that's
Oh,
awesome.
cool.
Yeah, like we said, this film is masterful. Like it's just perfect. It's incredibly well shot. Mahershala Ali was phenomenal. I've never even heard of the actor before Moonlight, but I mean the best supporting actor award that he got was much deserved because he was incredibly authentic. One thing I will say about this film that we haven't spoke on is I love how it shows the same character in 3 parts of his life, and even though it's played by the same actor, you never feel like you're looking at it or watching a different character.
Oh, you mean it's not played by the same actor?
Yeah, even though it's not played
Yeah.
by the same, played by 3 different actors, it always feels like you're watching and looking at the same character.
Yeah.
You really feel like you saw this character grow over several years of his life.
Yeah, fuck you, Boyhood.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's how you do that.
Boyhood is an overrated piece of shit.
Oh shit! I never seen it, so I don't know.
It is
But that's
terrible.
But that seems to be the consensus, to be honest with you.
Boyhood is fucking terrible.
All right, let's move on to number 3. Oh, it's my turn to give number 3. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
All right, it's my turn to get number 3. My number 3 is Silence. I
Cool.
might be the only one to have this on the list, but Silence is my number 3. I think it's one of Martin Scorsese's most underrated pieces of filmmaking. Nobody seems to talk about it, but I think it's an absolute masterpiece. Best religious film that I think I've ever seen. It does a great job at tackling the theme about faith and I guess like systematic oppression in a way that doesn't seem so one-sided and really gives pretty much everyone on every side of the spectrum something to chew on when they're watching it. And I really commend the film for that, because films like this can easily come off as incredibly one-sided. It can come off like propaganda in a way, but Silence never gave off that impression. And I just love the way it was handled from start to finish. And I just wish it got more recognition, because I think it's an absolute masterpiece. And yeah, I won't speak too much more on it. But if you haven't seen Silence, please watch it. It might still be on Hulu. I'm not sure. But if it is, check it out. It's an incredible film. I really love it.
Yeah, that film blew me the fuck away for sure.
It's funny because when I watched Silence, I saw it in pretty much an empty theater, and everybody was watching another Andrew Garfield film, a little overrated film I like to call Hacksaw Ridge.
Mm-hmm.
That Hallmark piece of trash.
I haven't seen it, but
I
Not
will
worth your
never
time.
watch it.
It's
I don't
not
have
worth your time.
All right, so are you done?
I'm done. Go ahead, man. It's
Well,
number 2 time.
My
Number 2.
My number 2. As probably a shock to not many people, The Lighthouse, directed by Robert Edgers.
Damn, son.
The Lighthouse, I didn't get a chance to review it. These 2 guys reviewed it, and I was so sad I wasn't there. I was in Oregon, and but I did get to see it. I saw it in Sacramento, California, surprisingly. Shit.
Oh, got 10% left.
Okay. Anyways, fuck, man. What can I say? This film is fucking, goddamn, I'm just fucking speechless. Willem Dafoe gives the fucking his career best performance. Snubbed as fuck from the Oscars. Pattinson does an incredible job. The cinematography, incredible. The score, also incredible. It took me like a few watches to come up with like a concrete interpretation of this film, but I'm happy that I've seen it 4 times now. This film is probably the most quotable film of my life currently. I've been doing nothing but annoying people in my life, quoting fucking Willem Dafoe and Pattinson from scenes of this film. This film flows like fucking water to me. It never drags. Even the beginning is just like, it sets the tone and atmosphere so well. This film really fucking floored me. I adore The Lighthouse so much. It's very unique. It gives me off Shining and Eraserhead vibes, but there's still really nothing like it. And I think it just blew me away how Robert Edgers one-upped himself from The Witch. Like, I had confidence in him that he was gonna pull something incredibly masterful, but The Lighthouse exceeded my expectations. It's brilliant. It truly is a brilliant film.
By the way, to answer Tate Robinson really quick, we can't spend too much time because I only have a little bit of battery left, so I kind of have to blast through this.
Yeah.
But Tate Robinson asked, did you think about the fact that these films came out this year and are fresh off your mind that
Yeah, of
that
course.
influenced your list?
Of course, I did. I factored that in. I know there's release bias, but no.
My top 5 didn't come out this year. I think only one of these films, the most recent film that's in my top 5 came out 2 years ago. So, yeah, I gave that a lot of thought, which is why I try to have the newer films this year a lot lower on my list personally. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's what somebody likes more. I mean, even if it came out this year, I mean, if they like that movie more at the moment, I mean, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you guys don't know how bad I wanted to include Uncut Gems, but I didn't.
Yeah, me too.
And I realized that was from this year, and it just came out. But you know,
To answer Yoshi's question, he said Carlos Good Time ? Good Time was actually Carlos's number 12.
Yeah, Good Time was my number 12, Joshi. All right, go ahead, Perry, with your number 2.
My number 2, something we already talked about, Alejandro Gonzalez Inarritu's Birdman.
Awesome. I'm glad that's your number 2.
I mean, what can I say about this film that hasn't already been said? Michael Keaton's all the acting across the board is phenomenal. I wasn't even an Emma Stone fan when I saw this movie, and even she was great in it. It was very ambitious, very thought-provoking, incredibly stylistic. I mean, I just don't have any gripes or issues with the film. And I feel like even a lot of casual moviegoers have latched onto this film because it's actually very accessible, and it even makes fun of Marvel movies and everyone's obsession with superhero movies, which is an aspect I really like about the film. Moving on.
All right, number 2 for Perry was Birdman. My number 2 is Phantom Thread, directed by Paul Thomas Anderson. I think Phantom Thread is an absolute masterpiece. Daniel Day-Lewis obviously gives an incredible performance. Paul Thomas Anderson direction in this is incredibly meticulous, as it always is. The amount of subtlety in this movie that is incredibly thought-provoking is quite staggering. And I just thought this film was directed to perfection. And it's my favorite PTA film of the decade. I picked it over The Master. It was between this and The Master. And I had to give it to Phantom Thread. I think that film just exceeds better, and it doesn't. There's not a single moment in this film that I think is lacking. It's pretty strong from start to finish, and I really love this film, and I highly recommend it to everybody who hasn't seen it yet. The third act, it definitely gives you something that you don't really expect, and it's quite amazing. So, my number 2 is Phantom Thread. Now it's time for number 1, guys. We might be quick through this, but we have to do it because my phone's dying.
Number 1.
Our number 1
It's time
pick.
for number 1, folks. If you haven't given this fucking video a like, go ahead and give it a like for me.
And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that
Subscribe, too,
subscribe button
if you
and
haven't.
that bell icon.
Yes, please do. All right, Eric, number 1, go.
My number 1 is The Handmaiden, directed
there
by
you go.
Park Chan-wook.
Nice.
Fuck, man. This is a film that I love every single second that it's on screen. All the performances are so well done. I think it's an incredibly nuanced sort of relationship between the two main actresses. And like Perry said, it's a really pro-feminist film that doesn't like beat you over the head with its themes in a way that's aggravating. It's shot beautifully. The direction is incredibly meticulous. The storytelling is really unique. I feel like South Koreans love to use these plot devices in the movie that works so well. I don't want to say what exactly because it kind of spoils the film. But the costuming, all great. The time period, it's very explicit, so keep that in mind if you do want to watch it. There's very explicit scenes. But fuck, man, it's not used like it's not used for no reason. I feel like it's very poignant and it serves the story incredibly well.
Yeah.
And it's a funny film too. Yeah, I think it's incredibly suspenseful. And I think it's an absolute masterwork. It's Park Chan-wook's magnum opus, and I think that it's no slouch for the best of the decade. Sorry.
Hey. All right, Perry, what's your number 1?
My number 1 is not Cats. Please stop saying Cats. Sorry, I didn't mean to bang on
No, you're
the table.
good. Go
My
ahead.
number 1 is The Lighthouse from Robert
Holy
Edger.
shit.
Nice.
Damn, really?
Yes, not only
Wow.
is this my favorite horror film ever made, but I can confidently say that this is the best film I've seen the entire decade.
Damn.
Because it's more than just a psychological thriller.
It's not even on my list.
More than just a horror film. It's it's so thought provoking. It deals with so many different themes. It's incredibly abstract, and the screenplay is super underrated because a lot of the dialogue rips up theories of that the audience has of where the film is going to go in the third act. I mean, and Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson, like their chemistry, their on-screen chemistry is just godly, and the payoff of the film, it not only is it incredibly bleak, but it is orgasmic. I mean, I know that's a very strange word to use.
It's fitting for the third act.
But it's so incredibly orgasmic. And, yeah, I just think there's so much to read into this film, into The Lighthouse. It definitely has to... It's such a great study of the male psyche.
Yeah, it's a perfect contrast between The Witch.
And our desire, in mankind's desire for control, and that need for that we need that sense of control, like we actually have dominance over what happens to us and what's happening around us.
Sexual repression too.
Sexual repression, which is a recurring theme in Robert Edger's films.
It is,
and just affection too. In general. Just the need for someone to have affection for one another. But yeah, okay. Number one, that was Perry's pick for the best of the decade. My number one of the decade is Birdman.
Birdman.
Oh, nice.
Birdman. I absolutely love Birdman. Everything about this movie exceeds on pretty much every phase of filmmaking. The cinematography, out of this world. The direction, like this film was the year that this came out was one of the most satisfying Oscars I've ever seen, because the Birdman pretty much swept the Oscars, and I was so happy about that. Won Best Director, which was absolutely deserved. Won Best Picture, which was deserved. It won Best Screenplay, which was deserved. This movie is written incredibly well. The acting on pretty much every actor in this, which has a great cast, just gives their all, and it's really effective. Emma Stone, even, which we didn't even, expect to be that awesome of an actress, gave an excellent performance in this film. Really showed her talent here. Yeah, this film, I mean, on a thematic level, too, I just love the themes in this as well. I love how it's like blockbuster film versus art house film kind of thing. And I really love how it kind of like tosses up between those two, and how those things kind of clash with each other. And I love it. I really do. And sure, like, I think this is a film that's most appreciated by film lovers more than casuals, but I really think a casual could watch this film and get something out of it. They might not like the ending or some things about it, but just me, like, I just think this film, someone who really, really loves film, I think it's an incredible piece of filmmaking. It really impressed me on every single phase, and just talking about it now, it really makes me want to go watch it again, because it's been a good bit since I've seen it, and I just really, really love this film. I think it's incredible, so... Oh yeah, and Michael Keaton's great, and I think somebody commented about The Revenant. I love The Revenant. I think that's also an amazing film, but I just think Birdman's better. I just think, like I said, there's nothing about Birdman that I really dislike. So,
no.
I think it's pretty much a perfect film, and that's why it's my number one, guys.
Yeah.
Yes, my favorite film is A Clockwork Orange of all time. That is still my favorite film of all time, which we're gonna all go see in February, by the way, in
Hell
theaters.
Yeah, in theaters.
It's coming out in
February
theaters.
11th. That's actually my favorite film of all time, too.
Yeah, it's also his favorite film of all time.
I'm just gonna say Dancer in the Dark is my favorite film of all time.
Interesting pick.
I thought it was Dogville.
Yeah, I alternate between the two.
Oh shit.
It's
Dogville's my favorite Von Trier.
Mine, too. But just to recap, Eric's number one is The Handmaiden, Carlos is Birdman, and mine is The Lighthouse.
And my number one is Birdman.
Yeah, I just said that.
Oh, really? Okay, my bad. So yeah, that's it, guys. That's our top 15 of the decade. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I know it's incredibly long, fucking 2 hours long.
I
Damn.
love The House That Jack Built.
House of Jack Built is amazing. That was one of my mentions that didn't get on the
Honorable
list.
mentions.
Yeah, honorable mentions. So, Really hope you enjoyed this list. Like I said, I know it's really long, so that was probably bothersome for you guys. But sorry, I only expected this to be like an hour, and it's a lot longer. So, but anyways, I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Those were our top 15. So don't forget to give this video a like if you haven't already. Make sure to subscribe, please, if you really enjoyed this, and share it around as well. And stay tuned for my top 20 best of the year that hopefully will be out this weekend. I'm going to try my very best to get that out this weekend. This list kind of semi-spoiled. It's going to be on that list, but that's all right. I don't care. I had a lot of fun doing this. So, yeah, thank you guys very much, and I'll catch you guys later.
See ya.
Bye, guys.
All right.